It's Motorsports Unleashed with this week's episode of Lucas Oil on the Edge. We've scoured the country in search of the most competitive and entertaining motorsports, and we've got some great events coming at you today. We're going to be slogging through the mud with full-size trucks at the Autocross event in Hutchinson, Minnesota. This tight race course is even harder than normal because of a torrential downpour right before the heat races, and the forecast isn't looking any better for the end of the night. It'll take driver's skill and a little bit of luck to make it through this race.
Go! Pedal to the floor, got it tacked up. And if you get too close, you're getting cracked up. Stone cold when I roll, coming out of the hole. Get back, cause I'm out of control. I'm on the edge.
This is Lucas Oil on the Edge. You're at the Autocross full-size truck race, McLeod County Fairgrounds, and yeah, the fans are already standing on top of the trailers, the trucks, whatever they can find to get a bird's eye view here at what is no doubt going to be a mud fest. It's going to be wild. Ken Stout, Brian Olson with you, and our good friend Rob Klepper already standing down in the mud, ready to get all dirty.
Well, Ken, I spoke with AJ Forcier, track designer of this racetrack, and now with all the rain that we have had, he had got a lot of volunteers to help him bring this thing in. Racers from all over the country coming here tonight. We got hairpin turns. We got monster tabletops, a little dogleg on the front stretch. Really aggressive racetrack, and the fans here tonight are going to have some fun.
Looking forward to that. We'll have some heat race highlights for you here, and the green flag goes, baby. Stand on the throttle, and you can see right off the bat. One of our competitors did exactly that.
Man, it is muddy. You could see all the equipment that they had out there just moments ago. I counted as many as 4 of the front-end loaders trying to get this thing worked back in.
The cool part about this, you pretty much take a truck, stock suspension, come out here, make a few modifications in regards to safety, and have some fun. There it is, Adam Hartwig in first place, and he just got an awesome start.
Yeah, he left the starting line way, way ahead of everybody else. He just got off the tree, you know. Got the headers coming through the hood, got the stock bumper, kind of a stock body category, if you will. All drivers, of course, with a roll bar requirement as well as seat belts and, of course, a helmet.
And Rogers coming around here. See that the door has been chained shut there. Of course, another safety item.
Yeah. Man, how'd you like the roll bar into that thing? I mean, that thing was huge. Again, it all comes down to a handful of safety items.
Oh, we got one stuck down here. That big old Dodge is stuck right in the middle of the race course. And it is sloppy muddy out here.
In the case of this weekend, I was about to say, man, it is just muddy. If it were like a sprint car, you know, Ken, you could take the little cutting tool and you could run the grooves in the tires. There are very few things, however, you can do to accommodate for this muddy racetrack. And the other part about it is, again, it's going to be a lot tougher on the motor because you're spinning the RPMs a lot more when you're spinning these tires free.
Trying to keep all the fenders on them there. Not beating and banging too bad here in these heat races. Just saves a little something there for the big race.
Whoa!
21X there getting in a little bit of trouble. That's Ryan Rogers, and Ryan Rogers gets turned all the way around.
Adam Hartwig in that 87 tries to hold off that 00. Troy Forcier.
Ooh, he's leaning on him.
That's a good race. You can look at it, man. You can turn the tires as hard left as you can go. Troy may catch a break here.
He over-rotates, gets down in the slop up over the berm, and just like that on the last lap. How about that?
Man, that was
Forcier
40 feet before the finish line, Stout. He raced number 2. We move on here with Gene Zemlicka, and a guy who definitely knows his way around this track. He's the defending champion, and he's out front by a long shot, but a little bit of death smoke coming out of the Bronco.
Oh, yeah, it'll be fine, man. Don't worry about that. That's all part of the horsepower.
Actually, I got to tell you, 1 year ago, I remember the same thing happening. It could very well be tire rub because it does come and go, but Zemlicka is making it look easy once again, even on this muddy track.
I'm just thinking when you run them loose like that, they make a little more horsepower. They're a little freer, man.
It is definitely freer. And just like always, drives that baby one-handed. And look at the big steel plate he's welded on the side of that thing. As we saw earlier, we had a chain hold one of the doors shut. But Zemlicka, obviously, look at the side of that thing. Big old plate steel welded onto both the fender, the quarter, and the door.
He's ready for a little rubbing right there, and especially if it happens on the driver's door. He wants to feel safe, or at least safer.
One thing for sure, he'll not have to worry about it coming open. That is it. As they make their way around, obviously the requirement is only for the driver's side. Here's Zemlicka. He's actually coming back on lap traffic as he'll start lapping trucks here just any moment.
Matching helmet in there. Probably $400 to paint the helmet.
You got that orange wristband on there, man. I mean, he's got it all going on, and takes a look back to see where the competition is, when the reality of it is there's more of them in front of him that he's about to go around than there is the back, but he's only got one lap to go.
Keep it all together, flying the colors there proudly. Yeah, he's going to have to deal with some lappers here. Last thing you want to do is get caught up with them, but what a difference in speed as these guys are just kind of cruising around here.
When we were here a year ago, Ken, you can remember this was the troubling turn right here, turn number 2. Look at it now. They put a lot of berm in it. They put some bank into that thing. And while these trucks are not going near as fast because of the rain we've had, it's made a lot better racing overall.
The 863 and the 101 going at it there. It was Carly Powell and William or John Christie, but they separate a little bit. And of course, our leader drives right on by both of them, although he does go a bit wide.
He went a little bit wide, and the silver truck's giving him a run, but for all intents and purposes, I think he pretty well lapped the whole field here.
When we come back, yeah, splish splash, they're all taking a bath. On the Edge is brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, made in America, sold to the world. General Tire, unleash the fury. And by Herculiner Truck Bed Liners, when the tough come easy.
The heats are done and the rain is coming, which means everybody's going to get wet. The drivers are going to have to worry about rolling over and keeping from sliding off this slippery course. The main event is about to begin for the full-size trucks. It's time to check it out.
Thanks a lot, Angela. Here we go. We'll take a look at our A-Main starting grid, courtesy of Herculiners. The name jump out at you there?
Yeah, that number 5 guy, that Chevy Olsen, is the man.
I knew you'd like that. All right, let's get down to the mud.
Well, thanks a lot, Ken, as we get set for the full-size trucks. I talked to a lot of the drivers back in the pits, and the big story, of course, is rain. Upwards of an inch of rain here. It continues to rain. It's all about the rain here in Autocross, a very muddy racetrack with the full-size trucks. Their drivers are saying if you have four-wheel drive, well, it's going to pay off here tonight.
All right, they're lined up. They're ready to rock the house, man. Looking for a green flag right here. Didn't take Zemlicka long to get going.
Yeah, Zemlicka, boy, he nailed it. I mean, he was right on the start, and that is going to be very critical as the rain comes down hard here.
They are going.
There's our favorite turn.
That is the 87 truck of Adam Hartwig, and he was in a dogfight right off the bat.
Well, that double zero, and he matched up.
Wadded up, man.
Yeah, they did it in the heat race, too. So maybe it's a payback there.
Big old pile of trucks there into turn number 1.
And guys, you can see turn number 2, very crucial here tonight. If you can get through turn 2, as the lightning strikes behind us here, you get through turn number 2, you're gonna be good to go. Guys, all over the race course off turn 2. Again, if you're quick through turns 1 and 2, you're gonna be good here tonight in the full-size trucks.
Zemlicka, again, that short wheelbase, a good amount of suspension travel, and look at all the wheel speed on that thing all the way around. I mean, the tires are spinning tremendously here as we go on board with Adam Hartwig. Oh, it's a stick shift to boot, man.
And we heard him talk about the four-wheel drive a little bit earlier, but obviously if you take a look at the trucks that are up in the front, they are all four-wheel drive. Not afraid to run in the rain out here.
No, and you can also see he had his hand on the stick shift handle. The other handle there, by the way, which goes right to the transfer case, which obviously means it too was full-wheel drive. Zemlicka has to look out the window to see where he's going here with the rain.
Oh, and he's going to get checked up here by the 12 truck. More importantly, how about that Chevy Olsen? Huh?
Oh,
that
Chevy
68
Olsen,
stumped him, man.
But he's getting away from him, old Chevy. My boy Chevy's trying to get away. He does not want to get lapped.
He did get going pretty good once he got back on the throttle, figured out which way to go.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he started moving on pretty good. And you know what, Zemlicka, though, just like last year, he's just dominant. I think the whole combination there is dominant. I got to tell you what, though, it's not going to be any good if that hood pops up. which it almost looked like he's trying to do.
Oh, we've got the 00 of Troy Forcier, who's coming after him, man. He has closed the gap a bunch.
And Troy and he have battled many, many times before. The Forcier brothers, pretty much the promoters of this event.
Oh, Chevy's in trouble.
Oh, Chevy, come on, man. You can do better than that.
Chevy Olsen, relation there, brother?
I don't know, man. If I tell you what, if it is, I'll call him my cousin any day with a cool name like that.
Adam Hartwig taking us for a ride. Doesn't sound like he's really up on the pipe right there.
No, he's not got much RPM on that thing, and again, it's a stick shift machine. As I look, I think he's probably in about second gear, but he's just not landed to the wood much at all. And again, it's so wet, it's pouring down rain, it's just a big mud pit here.
Go back to our leader. That was the 12 truck in a little bit of trouble right there. Mr. Brutker having some issues, but it is the 5 truck, Gene Zimlicka, who's doing an awesome job out here.
With the help from the Hay Guy, Christensen Dairy, Kokish Farms, and Luthen's Farms, he just makes it look easy. He did the same thing here a year ago. Look at Carl Albrecht. He's currently 7th. And I mean, that thing looks like it has been through a demolition derby right there.
I don't think you can see where he's going. He can read his hood real good, but that's about it.
Radiators flowing over, hood's hanging open. I mean, he couldn't have much else going wrong, but he's still making the...
Rutger lost a tire. He's out there with just a wheel, man. He's earning points, baby.
Oh,
There's that
tire. And here comes Zimlicka, boy, just making the laps. Mr. Consistency. For another year, he does it again, man. I mean, that is the ultimate truck for whatever reason, and the driver's doing the ultimate job here.
Carl Albrecht with a Main Street Sports Bar helping him out. Checkered flag's going to come out for the 5 truck. Looks like Troy will not catch him. There is the final order, courtesy of General Tire. Congrats, everybody. I'm sure these guys had a blast.
No question about it. My cousin, Chevy Olsen, cleared down there net. Lucky number 13 spot.
As it continues to sprinkle here in the full-size trucks, Gene Zimlicka, 2 years in a row, man. Congratulations. Nice run.
Thank you. I just want to say thanks to everybody, and it takes the fans to make it work.
How about this track here? I mean, obviously a lot of rain. It continues to rain. How much different from last year to this year?
Not much. It's a bigger track. It's more fun when it's muddy.
Well, enjoy your trophy. It's right there, man. Congratulations. Zimlicka wins in full-size trucks.
Great looking flag. All right, when we come back, we'll take them inside, but on the ice.
When you think of ATVs and quads, you think outdoors, right? Well, that's not the case today at Lucas Oil on the Edge. This type of quad race is a little slicker because it's on ice. We've got 2 amazingly fast classes coming your way.
Thanks, Angela. Ice race quads is what we're talking about here in Illinois. We'll have a couple of different categories. We'll start things off here with the rubber tire class. That's because there's no studs in the tires here. It's basically just your stock quad tire, if you will. They're going to have to use some patience to try to get these things going.
And very similar in nature to what we just watched. When we watched the trucks race in the mud, it's sort of similar when you have no screws in your tires to gain traction here with the quads. Once they get rolling, though, it's a different story.
Not uncommon for them to transfer a little weight to the back as they look for traction. They'll slide their bodies back there. Plenty of traction on that one, or maybe I should say plenty of weight to transfer. You don't want to slide too much.
Schultz looks real smooth right here. Then we'll watch that 830 machine of Jamie Schultz actually pick the front end up. He's using some body English, but again, no screws, no studs in these tires at all.
See him stand on the brake, then kick that thing out backwards as he backs it into the turn. You might also notice, especially with the number 7 here, look how narrow the rear end is set up as they try to get all that weight centered over those rear tires and get as much bite as they can.
And you know what, Ken? That's just the opposite of what I thought you would want to do here. However, it does make sense when you figure it out. The more you can get your body over the top of those tires directly, the better chance you got of traction.
Obviously, the wider the front end, the more the grip as well. So that is the setup right here. Brittany Calvert trying to get that one to turn. And well, I tell you, man, if you don't back that thing in, you're going to have a hard time just steering it around.
Yeah, getting up here in the loose stuff there a little bit, if you will. White flag, 1 lap to go.
A little bit of a cushion right there. And, man, I'll tell you, a lot of bite just picking up that front end. Shows you how much weight they can transfer if you get the setup done right. Last lap, looking for the checkered flag. And it's going to be David Schultz who drives it across the stripe first in the rubber tire category. Congratulations to him. No shortage of Schultzes in there, by the way.
No, the top three are Schultzes and a couple of Calverts and Rickman and on down the list.
The Icebreaker class is up next. These guys will be a little bit quicker out here with these.
And unlike our rubber tire amateur quads, these machines, the Icebreakers, with a chance to use some studs here and there.
Rope goes up. Here we go. The 96 on the poles going absolutely
Nowhere.
nowhere. The 96 of Jeff Lewandowski really struggled trying to get it going, and both of those guys getting in a little bit too hot, spinning all the way around, so struggling with first lap blues.
And just so you know, the yellow flags are only area yellow caution flags. As the green flag will fly, the area where the yellow is means you got to slow down, but it's not a full course yellow. There's a bunch of them spinning out there at 3 and 4.
Yeah, they're trying to stay out of each other's way. A couple of guys getting around here pretty doggone good.
And I got to tell you what's really cool. They're looking back just like, I guess you about got to look around full time, because if someone gives you a little bit of a bump, you're done. White flag, 1 to go.
Eric Howell in the 383 out of Elliott, Iowa on the Polaris.
We got Hondas, Yamaha, Suzuki's, and Polaris all represented here in this heat race.
Oh, man, Tyler Hughes just squeezes through there and takes the checkered flag. Congratulations to him. That was the heat race. Of course, they'll line them all up for the A-Main when we come back. We've got a lot of racing yet to do, and yeah, we're going to get it done on the ice. They got to get them hooked up now. The rubber tire main event is up next, and you can take a look at the competitors that will be out here. The Schultzes finished 1, 2, and 3 in the heat race. We'll find out if they can fill the podium out one more time.
4 quads in that front row. There's 3 of them in row number 2, 7 total. And that 3X machine, they call it the Hot Wheels machine. Start the thing off in 4th place. But overall, right off the bat, number 830 will start the thing off. That's Jeremy Schultz. And again, that's the machine that has the right weight transfer, and the machine that, for whatever reason, is so much better with getting traction.
You really see that thing squat, too. You watch the suspension on both of those, the 7 as well. When they go into the turn, up on the front tire, get it to turn, and then transfer that weight onto the back tires, and he tries to stay out of him, gets himself in trouble. Tough break for the 7 of David Schultz.
David and Jeremy were doing battle, but right now it's all about that number 830. And I'm not so sure what he's doing so much better than anyone else, but that machine is hooked up substantially better than the others, as the 837 now of Kurt Schultz tries to play catch-up here. 3 Schultzes once again in this final event.
White flag, last lap for the main event of the rubber tire class. He needs to stay out of trouble here if he can get through the final turn, lock it up, set it, keep those front tires off the back tire. The 837 is right there, though, but is not going to be able to get it done.
He can pull the front end up, I think, anytime he wants to, man.
Congratulations to Jeremy Schultz, as once again the Schultz family fills out the podium.
All right, Jeremy Schultz, rubber class, not easy to keep any traction out there whatsoever. How do you stay on track and win this race?
Well, you just got to, go out there and, the first race we had, that's usually a good idea what you got to do and set up in the pits for the main. We've been doing it for over 10 years now, so we know what to expect. We know the right changes to make, and, just a bunch of friends of us, we all get along pretty good in our class, so we just go out there and have fun.
When we come back, yeah, the studs are back. On the Edge has been brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, made in America, sold to the world. General Tire, unleash the fury. And by Herculiner Truck Bedliners, when the tough come easy.
We've got one final in the books with the rubber ATV class, and now it's time to watch the Icebreaker quads battle it out. Ted's been working the pits and has some specs on the Icebreaker class.
All right, well, not everything can be professional, and you have to start somewhere. This is the amateur class. I like to call it the rubber boys because they're only allowed 100 studs total. Now, you compare that to the other quads who have over 1,000 studs, probably just on the back 2 tires. These guys will slide a little bit more than your average racer. Let's see what happens.
Okay, the Icebreaker class, and here's a look at the A-Main lineup. Pick one out.
Tyler Hughes is my man all the way.
Okay.
Starts toward the back, but he looked real good in the heat.
All right, behind the tape, here we go. Tape is clear, we are racing.
And you can clearly tell right off the bat at the start how much better they are getting moving than those that were in the rubber tire category, because there are studs on these.
And once again, the 241 out of the lead, Tyler Hughes. Tyler Hughes doing a great job. Good call on that one. Right behind him is the 96 of Jeff Lewandowski.
And he's matching up here with Jason Morse. Jason playing chase here on that number 145, that machine that you're feasting your eyeballs on. But right now, Hughes is making it look easy.
Hughes on the Honda. Great battle for fifth place between Dan Anderson and John Ryerson.
If you take a look once again, as we'll move over here in a moment to Tyler Hughes, look how much Tyler Hughes is a sit-up rider, if you will, using very little body language. You'll see him right here. He's
Sitting
just
off to the
sitting
side
straight
just
up.
a little bit, but that's about it.
That's about it. I mean, not getting too wild, not leaning too heavy, just a little bit to one side, where a lot of riders are throwing themselves on toward the back a little bit more toward the wheels. Once again, these machines have some screws on board.
Lewandowski in second place there, and you can see third place got just a little bit anxious. Was about to run into him, stopped, spun it out, white flag, and he's got to stay out of trouble right here, man. He's just kind of driving right around everybody.
Oh, man, I mean, he's in the mix of all kinds of lap traffic, and that's not generally a good place to be, but he'll make it work, and that is Tyler Hughes, your winner.
Beautiful job working his way through everybody, staying out of trouble, and brought home a win. Let's go down on the ice.
All right, Tyler Hughes, you're still an amateur, but it's got to be tough to get around that track with only 100 studs in these tires, and you did a good job. It was a big field.
Yeah, it ain't too bad. I've done it a couple times before, and I was going to go ahead and run pro, but snapped my ball joints this week, but it's not that bad.
You're awfully excited for a guy who just won.
Yeah, drove a long ways to be here.
Good job, dude.
Thanks.
We were rainy and cold in this week's show, but hey, you can log on to speedtv.com and link over to newwavetv.com for a list of upcoming OTE shows like 4x4 mud racing, tractor pulling, snowmobiles on water, and much, much more. Thanks to Ken Stout, Brian Olson, Rob Klepper, and Ted Brunson. Remember, you're not living unless you're on the edge.